I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Sometimes we don't want the dream. We just want to look like someone who has a dream. We don't necessarily want the thing. We just want to be seen wanting the thing. And that's normal. That's human. But at some point, we have to get honest with ourselves, and we can't blame, oh, my job is keeping me from doing this. My money is keeping me from doing it. My family is keeping me from doing this. Instead, we have to be honest. We have to tap into ourselves, get rid of these excuses, and say, I'm just not as committed as I should be right now. Hey, what's going on, family? It's Zay, and welcome to the Guava Life Podcast. Podcast where we have conversations about growth and living intentionally. So if you're someone that's looking to grow in any area of your life, whether that's your health, your faith, your business, your relationships, your content, you're in the right spot. And I want to say thank you for being here, because you could be anywhere in the world, and I do not take it lightly that you took a moment out of your busy schedule, out of your busy day to hear me yap. And for those of you who have been here for a while, I want to say welcome back. And again, thank you for the messages, the voice memos, the comments, the posts. I don't take it for granted that you guys are showing the love that you're showing. But I will ask anyone else that's new to the podcast, whether you're on Apple or you're on YouTube, just if you get anything out of this conversation, leave a comment, like it, share it with somebody you love, share it with somebody that you feel it can be beneficial to. Hit that subscribe button, all the YouTube stuff. And if you're sitting on Apple Podcasts, leave a review. If it's a 5-star rating, leave a 5-star rating. If it's a 1-star rating, leave a 1-star rating. All I ask is you also leave a note so I know how I could get better. Amen. So I want to get into this conversation today. It's been heavy on my heart. We officially got started with Guava School. So we went through one session of our Monday reset, and some topics, some subjects came up again. And I just want to touch base on it. These are one of those episodes, I want to say, where I may have to hold your hand while I say this type of episodes. Because we're going to get personal. We're going to get a little bit under the skin, but it's beneficial for the growth that we're looking to get towards, right? We want to take life a little more serious. We want to take our gifts and our talents and our calling a little more serious. Well, this episode, we're going to tap into that just a little bit. It's going to be fun, though. It's not going to be something where we're just packing it on and trying to make you feel bad about anything that you have going on. It's out of love. It's out of love. I promise. We've all been in every one of these situations. So let me just get right into it, right? Because what I've noticed is there are a lot of people who want to dream. We all love to dream. We all love to go after something that we see on Instagram, we see on the internet, and we kind of get caught up in comparing our lives to others, right? And over the past couple of episodes, again, we are stacking on top of that framework. We're stacking on our disciplines and habits. And last week when we talked about rest and how to go about getting rid of some old stuff, protecting some of the routines that you already have, and just getting creative with your time and your efforts at what you want to accomplish, right? I want to piggyback on more of the same, right? The biggest problem I'm noticing, not to speak outward or not to speak towards anybody, but the biggest problem isn't necessarily motivation, right? The biggest problem for most people is the lack of honesty. Stay with me. We have people who want to say, I want to start a business, I want to make content, I want to travel, I want to be this, I want to be that. But clearly, when we pull back the curtain of their habits, that's not actually what they want. And the biggest thing, here's the piece that I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Sometimes we don't want the dream. We just want to look like someone who has a dream. We don't necessarily want the thing. We just want to be seen wanting the thing. And that's normal. That's human. But at some point, we have to get honest with ourselves, and we can't blame, oh, my job is keeping me from doing this. My money is keeping me from doing it. My family is keeping me from doing this. Instead, we have to be honest. We have to tap into ourselves, get rid of these excuses, and say, I'm just not as committed as I should be right now. That's the start. If we can start right there with being honest with ourselves, the next step is getting into the right direction. So I'm not the only one. I'm having conversations with people every single day, whether I'm going live, whether I'm at work, or I'm going through life having these conversations. And these conversations are being had with me from my leadership, because I've been in these seasons. I've been in this space where I think I want a certain thing, but when the time comes to start actually doing the thing, my capacity, my commitment, my focus starts to expose the fact that that's not actually what you want to do, number one. That's not actually what God is calling you to do, number two. So we have to dig deep, take an audit of our lives, look ourselves in the mirror and really say, man, what do I really want to do? What is really the root of this desire that I have? What is the real root of this hate towards my job, my family, my whatever this thing is that's around you, that are inevitably falling into a bucket that I'm just gonna label one thing: excuses. Okay? So I wanna tap into, where do we go from here, right? Because again, going back to the fact that once we start to get honest with ourselves, then we can start making the right adjustments, right? I was having a conversation on yesterday. We were having our Monday reset call, and a friend of mine, right, call her a friend, was sharing how I just don't like my job. I just hate that I have to go work for somebody else. And then I started to dive a little deep, right? Again, we had this conversation. She's allowing me to share. I let her know right after the call, I'm going to put you in the sermon, AKA put you in the podcast. I let her know, I asked her, right, because now we're working on routines, we're working on developing a habit that we can implement over the next 90 days. I said, break down what you do when you go to work, right? So she broke down a few things, and one thing stood out to me, right? Work is so easy, there's not really no people. Then it's like this downtime she gets where she's bored and she has her phone set up on her desk, and she says, I just sit at work watching documentaries. Well, hold on a second. You said you hate working for someone else, you want to create content, you want to do these other things, but when you get a moment where work is mundane, you take the time to watch documentaries? Those two things don't match. And that's where that honesty has to start to kick in, okay? So one thing that we discussed in that point was, you can't focus on what you hate in order to grow. Right? You can't say, I hate my job. That's not the direction we want to lean in. We want to lean in the direction of, well, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Because the stuff that you're considering you hate, the stuff that you consider is inconvenience, are just excuses, because you're looking in the wrong direction. If you start to look forward, you'll notice that there's nothing keeping you from getting to the place you're saying you want to get to, if that's actually the place you want to get to, if that's actually the calling that you have for yourself, for your life. Are we tracking? Does that make sense? All right, if that's making sense, please let me know that that's making sense. Okay, so I know it's easy, right? Thinking about myself, family has come up a lot in conversation. And there's been a season in my life where I dreaded what my family was missing. All day long, I want to talk about what my mom didn't do, what my dad didn't do, what we didn't have, and all this other stuff. But I never took the time to actually lean into what I actually wanted out of them. I started to compare what I've seen other friends, what I've seen on TV, what family looks like, and I didn't understand that every family is just like mine. And I didn't actually understand that I wanted love. I didn't know how to say, I just want my dad to have a certain conversation with me, or I want my dad to allow me to have certain conversations with him. I didn't speak that. I didn't focus on that. I didn't approach that. All I did was get stuck on the fact that my family isn't this. My job isn't this. We've all said these things. We've all made these excuses. Focusing on what we hate, focusing on what's behind us, instead of taking a moment to audit, not the life you have now. That's a good start. Audit the life that you're actually claiming you want. Pay attention to what it's going to take to get there and actually get it. Again, going back to what we said earlier, people like to say they want the thing, but in reality, they just want to be seen wanting the thing and allow excuses, whether they're hidden under some kind of truth. It might be true. Oh, my job sucks. The environment is crazy. That might be true. But now I want us to focus on what can we do in this season right now? What can we learn? Each and every one of us are within a system and an environment that we can develop some kind of patience, some kind of consistency, some kind of habit while we're already in this systemized place. Because if you get to where you're actually asking, it's going to take routine, habits, consistency, discipline. So that's what you develop while you're in the season you're in, while you're at this job right now, while you're sitting around trying to figure out what's next, what you want to get to. You got the time to actually build that. So I want to give some practical. I want to give practical. Because again, this can happen in our regular life. This happens, I'm a Christian, right? When I got saved, and I hear it all the time, being in full-time ministry, I'm hearing all the time, like, I don't want to go back to what I used to do. I don't want to go back to sinning. That's where we could hate sin, right? We all need to hate sin because we don't want to go back to where we're sinning. But if we focus so much on the booby traps, we miss the life that we should be focusing on. We miss the fact that we should be focusing on the disciplines of prayer, fasting, Bible reading, studying, communion, people, love, all of that. If we focus on that, keep our eye on Jesus, we won't get caught up in all. It's just not the byproduct. The byproduct of focusing on where you're going is getting where you're going. You may get some resistance here and there because, of course, our enemy doesn't want us to get there. But there's no booby traps in terms of sin. There's no booby trap in terms of failing or feeling like a failure, because we're going and we're focused on no matter what it takes. We're putting one foot in front of the other, right? We have our accountability partners. We have our goals. We have our routines. We have our habits. We're going. Okay, so hear me out. The old you, done. The past, done. We don't care about the trauma, not to make light of that. I don't need to be canceled. I do not want to make light of our past, our trauma, our family, those things. But we can't use them as crutches and excuses. We use them as fuel to go where we're going. You were chosen to go through what you went through because you need it for where God is calling you to go. Trust and believe that. Believe that. Every piece of your story, every piece of your experience fills in a piece of your puzzle as you go forward. Tracking? Good. I'm glad that's making sense. I hope that's making sense, number one, but I'm glad it's making sense, okay? 3 things. Got to leave you with 3 things that are practical, right? Take note. Pay attention to what your life looks like right now. Be honest with yourself and take the necessary notes that you need, right? After having conversation in our Monday reset, I remember even thinking back to a friend of mine, and I'll get into that after point number 1. Be honest about what you actually want. Stop chasing goals because they're popular. God didn't call everyone to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you're called to lead at Walmart. Maybe you're called to teach. Maybe you're called to build, but you got to own it. And there's a lot of times, my older brother, I love him to death. I love all my brothers. I love them all. But I remember a time where I would complain about my brother loving the fact that he's working at Walmart. And I would always complain, man, bro, you got to get out of there. You got to do something better. You got to do something more. You got to focus. But he didn't let that stop him. He didn't let what we were talking about as a family stop him from grinding, stop him from building the necessary disciplines and habits and grow as a man and get to the level he's at right now. Still going strong at Walmart, but that's what he was called to do. He's impacted hundreds of lives in different areas of the country, and we all missed it because we were focusing on where he was in that season at Walmart. But he was true to himself. He knew, I have a goal, I want to get to, and he still has enough time that if he wants to pivot, he can take all of that experience, all of that corporate experience, and take it with him to become this entrepreneur, become this father that I'm so praying that he's ready to become, this brother, this cousin, this friend. No matter what he does with his life, there's so much in his experience that he can pull from, that he can build on, and he can share with the rest of the world. So there might be somebody in your life, or you might be that person that's in a lane that seems not as pretty as what everyone else is doing. So you might feel a little, I don't think I should be working at McDonald's. Don't get that misconstrued with not tapping into what you're called to do. But while you're in these seasons and you're embracing the fact that you're in it, be the light there. Shine your Christ light there. Love on people, be kind to people, be hardworking, do what you got to do. Don't let the world say, you work at McDonald's. Oh man, that's crazy. Force you into thinking, now I need to become an entrepreneur. Now I need to quit this job. Now I need to start hating. I got good people here. Now I need to start hating it because it's the flippy burgers job that they talked about when we were in high school. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing, okay? Enjoy where you are. But in the same breath, don't let God's calling come upon your life and you stay complacent there and use this as an excuse or as a crutch, okay? Take it there when it's time to take it there. I want to bring up scripture, Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 through 30. We all know the parable of the talents, and we all can read it in our leisure. However, right now I just want to share, for those who don't know, the parables was, the kingdom of God is like the owner who leaves town, a master who leaves towns. He finds his servant and he splits some silver between 3 servants, right? He gives one servant 5 bags, gives one servant 2 bags, gives one servant 1 bag. He goes on vacation, he comes back, and he comes to check on the bags of silver. Now, the one that got 5, he invested it, got 5 more. The one he gave 2, he invested it, he got 2 more. He was proud and excited. Well done, my faithful servants. Then there was the one with the 1 bag, and he says to him, "Look, Master, I was a little shook. I didn't want to lose your bread, so I dug a hole, but here go your bag back." And he's like, "Wait, you didn't do nothing with what I gave you? You did nothing with what I gave you." Now that right there, clear sign, you're getting it. It's clicking as we're going through it. He says, take that 1 bag. You're done. I'm going to give your 1 bag to the one who had the 5 bags. Now he went from 10 to 11. He had 5, he made 5 more. Now he has 1 more, 11, right? And in that scripture, the back end of that scripture is what I want to focus on. To those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. Now throw this useless servant into outer darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. That's important to me. To those who use well what they are given, more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. Matthew chapter 25, verse 29. That's important to me in the space where we're talking about being honest and not focusing on what's not you. If you have little, focus on that little. If you got that gift, that talent, you're in a season where it's little, God can trust you with that little. What he's not trying to get you to do, and that's the balance between being overly ambitious to where you just are chasing what is popular and not doing anything, right? There's levels to it, right? This 5 bag servant, yeah, he's gonna do his thing. He was given more. He's expecting to do more. He's gonna invest that stuff. 2 made 2 more. Now 1 decided to do nothing. Don't be that nothing person because an excuse is keeping you from taking a step. Oh, I was scared. That don't exist here. No fear. Get out there and do your thing. You don't have to do it alone. Find the right people. Tap into your source. Develop your why you want to achieve that desired result that you're looking for. All right. Again, I want us to be honest. Point number one, be honest about what you actually want. Okay. God doesn't ask why you weren't someone else. He asks, what did you do with what he gave you? Okay. Number two, find people who pull you forward. Hey, what's going on, family? I hope this episode has been blessing you. I know we're getting a little bit personal, but it's all out of love. I promise. And if you're still here, that just means you're actually looking to grow, which is why I want to personally invite you to join us inside of the Guava School community, an opportunity to come along like-minded individuals and start taking life serious. We meet 3 times a week, we collaborate, we connect, we build relationships, we create things, we have a good time. So if that's something that you will be interested in, please scan the QR code and let's get going. It's not about money. It's not about stuff. It's not about more. There's only one guarantee. No matter what it is you're trying to grow, no matter what it is you're trying to build, we'll be with you the whole way. See you on the inside. Let's get back to the episode. Find people who pull you forward. Okay? When you're around people taking action, you start taking action. Isolation feeds the excuses. Community exposes them in the right way. Okay, going back to, and that's what I have in my notes, going back to the conversation about the documentaries, okay? When we were having this conversation, she mentioned there's no one around, right? And we can get caught up in the ease of a job. She's working a remote job and she's not tapping into her fullest potential. She's accepting the fact that she's bored. She's looking at documentaries. Cool. Isolation, excuse after excuse after excuse. My job is boring. They don't really connect. I like it, but I don't want to work this 9 to 5. There was a lot of excuses coming down the line. And I'm not going to make it about her, and I'm not going to make her feel bad about those excuses. We had a constructive, developmental conversation about let's shift on how we can embrace those down moments of work. How can we embrace the fact that I do have this time on my hands and I can develop this desire that I keep saying that I want, right? She mentioned how she wants to serve, but as soon as my job goes away, I'm gonna start serving inside of food pantries. And that's backwards, because you might be somebody saying the same thing. As soon as my money get right, I'll start that business. As soon as my job gets a little easier, I'll start that business. As soon as the babies graduate, I'll step into that call and I'll start doing that thing that I've been wanting to do my entire life, that I'm called to do. As soon as I will. No. We get rid of the excuses behind us and we continue to move forward. Are we tracking? And this is a perfect time. It reminds me of, we were having this Bible study, men's Bible study a while back, and my brother, Will, came through. This was my first time meeting him. And the more we were having conversations and learning about each other, it would just hit in my heart, right? And this is why I've developed the Guava School community. This is why I'm so big on doing life with other people, especially like-minded people, okay? Because by the time we were done, it was about an hour, 90-minute session. I go to Will and I say, brother, I love the fact that you were courageous enough to shed tears, share your story. His dad came with him. They had a father-son bond in that hour. I love that. However, brother, when you leave out of here, you have officially left out of here with 0 excuses to become the man that you are looking to become. You have walked away because there are 12 other men sitting right in this room. You have access to my phone number. You have access to my heart. You have access to my wallet. You have access to my people. You have access to whoever you keep in proximity of you. That's why it's important to find a tribe. That's why it's important to get you around some people that are going in the same direction that you want to go, that are actually looking to grow, that are actually looking to live intentional. I love that, and seeing the growth from that has been incredible. So when I talk about my friend who's been making excuses and looking to get rid of one job and start to create content and start to do X, Y, and Z, she has a community. She's being introduced to something that's brand new. So I don't know where you are, but if it sounds like I would if I had other people, well, here's your invitation. Because after you have encountered this episode, whether you're watching it on YouTube or listening to it on a podcast, if someone sent this to you, they want to be your community. If you just clicked on this and you watched this, I want to be your community. There's plenty of people that are in my corner that we can share. You have access by leaving a comment. You have access by following me on social media. I'm not the type to say what I'm saying and turn my back on the person as soon as they reach out. Yes, you can take these principles and apply them. Yes, you can go through the framework and watch episode 1, 2, and 3 leading up to this very moment. But what I'm saying to anyone listening, anyone watching, you have officially ran out of excuses as of today. You know better now. Now we do better. No pressure, but use your resources. You want new things, you have to do new things. Get on offense. Don't be so defensive right now. We want to get on offense. What comes with being on offense? Offenses. And people are going to see you grinding. People are going to see you going in a direction that you've never been in before. And they're going to start to raise questions and doubt you and do all of these things. But after today, after right now, your excuses officially go out of the window. So I want you to take a look at that list. I want you to look at that list and say, okay, I didn't have people before. I didn't have family before. Well, you have it now. You just have to be creative on how you want to use it, okay? And that's actually number 3. Get on offense. Get on offense. Get off of defense. Get off of defense. We don't want to make excuses. We don't want to fight the past. We don't want to hate anything. We want to get on offense. Are we tracking? Okay, 3 points. Let's run through them one more time. Be honest about what you actually want. Stop chasing goals because they're popular. Find people who pull you forward. When you're around people taking action, you start taking action. Get on offense. Quit waiting until you're ready. New life requires new habits. Action creates clarity. Okay? You don't think your way into courage, you move your way into courage. My notes are done. I want to close out with this, and I want to be serious. I'm going to lean in. I want you to lean into this right now. My notes are finished. Excuses are good to the people who make them. And when I think about my life, and it's not about me, this is about you, because you're the superhero in your movie right now. You're the superhero in anything you're doing in your life, whether you know it or not, whether you tapped in or not. My role, the role I play in this podcast, in my Guava School community, in all of my content, in life, every single superhero that you've ever watched has had someone by their side to show them how to tap in to their superpower. Spider-Man was shooting web, a superhero, and he just had to learn how to use it. Flash had to learn how to use it. All of these superheroes that we know had to learn how to use that gift and that call inside of them. They couldn't figure it out on their own. Are we tracking? So right now, after you finish listening to this, I want you to take a moment and figure out what is my superpower, because each and every one of us has one. You're called, you're gifted, you're special, you're unique. Get you around some people who can value that. You have to value that. Remember the 3 things we talked about. Do not be the type of person to want the thing because it's popular. Do not be the type to want to be seen wanting the thing. Nobody cares. Either want the thing or don't. Either go after the thing or don't. But once you start to make excuses, all I hear is, you don't want the thing. You just want me to believe you want the thing. And you want to be in arm's reach of it and keep not stretching all the way out to get it, because anything you want right now is in arm's reach. Get in that Bible, get in prayer, all of your fasting disciplines, all your spiritual disciplines, work on your routines, work on your habits, visit the framework from episode 1. Yeah, I'm being biased. I'm sharing all these things for a reason. I don't take any of these things lightly, and I'm inviting you in, and I'm hoping you can invite me and the community and the people that are continuing to subscribe and grow in this community in. You don't have to do life alone. We were never meant to do life alone. So if you're here for a reason. And it's my job to encourage you to get up and venture anything. That's all I got. Till next time, love you guys. Peace.